And we welcome you here to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where tonight one driver will come away lucky and win it all as he'll take the jackpot and score the victory in tonight's race. I want to welcome you all here to race number 3 of season 10 of the MF Racing Designs Slide Jawb Racing League. Tonight's race, of course, here at Las Vegas. It is the MFRD Slide Jawb Racing League SMB Marketing 200. So pardon me for that. As of right now, we're looking forward to a fun race here at Las Vegas. As it stands right now, we have 133 laps here tonight, ready to do battle. Are these drivers? It looks right now we have a field of 32 cars thus far into practice, and so far looking at this season so far, a year in review, just 2 races in, obviously, but we've got 2 different winners. Sartaj Man, of course, taking home the iRacing Funny 250. Then the Chicagoland 200 last week, won by Jonathan Parker. It should come as no shock to anybody who watches any JCTV programming that race was won by Jonathan Parker, but he looks to back that up tonight as he currently is 5th fastest in practice. So let's go ahead and take a look at how our field's looking. But first things first, I want to get you a look here at the schedule here at the start of tonight. So as you can see right there, we are at Las Vegas tonight for the running of the SMB Marketing 200. Next week, Bristol Motor Speedway for a night race. Always fun to go to the Last Great Coliseum. Then Coda, Kansas, Loudon, Atlanta. And then we get the All-Star race at Concord, which is a very, very tricky track to navigate. We get an off week after that. Then we go Dover, Michigan. Then the playoffs begin. Nashville, Watkins Glen, Darlington, Talladega, and closing out the season at Auto Club. So a variable of a schedule here coming up. With it being Bristol and then Coda, so going from a short track immediately into a road course and then back to Kansas, another 1.5-mile track, and then to a different style race surface, the Magic Mile at Loudon. So definitely a variable of different racetracks that these drivers will have to navigate. So the skill will be put to the test as the weeks continue on here. So as we look right now, as we get a look at your practice session right now, it looks like Sartaj Man is currently the fastest car on track right now. Ben Lacey is up there in second, of course, one of the standout drivers of last season. But right there is the current points leader, Sartaj Man, as we stand right now. Actually, no, Mark Frimpong and Jonathan Parker are tied for the points lead. Sartaj Man is 9th in points. He is, of course, the winner of the season opener at Daytona. So he's got a win to his name, as does Jonathan Parker now. So 2 drivers have cemented themselves here with wins to start this season. And, of course, tonight is a patriotic-themed night. You'll see some of the paint schemes tonight will have some of that red, white, and blue, one of which I believe right here, the 6 at Derek Paulson's got a nice scheme going for him. There you see that number 6. Looks like he has got the Mirabelle scheme this week, actually. Got to see if we can get a better look at this scheme. There you have it. The Marielle scheme, of Derek Paulson tonight. Of course, we've mentioned it before. We saw it last week on the 41. That puppy dog scheme that Dalton Kilroe ran last week at Chicagoland. This week, it's going to be driven by Derek Paulson here in the 6. Marielle designing yet another scheme here for one of those MF Racing Designs drivers. Michael Falk, of course, always one for a creative palette, always one for some great paint schemes, and even his daughter getting in on the fun. And we're going to look and see if I can find one of his teammates, Brian Dees, currently on pit road. You see he's got a patriotic scheme. You see Zach Probst right there, Mark Frimpong. They've got some red, white, and blue on them as well. And there's your defending series champion, Dalton Kilroe, pulling it into his pit stall. Right there, he's got that red, white, and blue theme going as well. Ready to go racing here tonight at Vegas. A couple other drivers want to highlight the 40 of Doug Denise. He's got a paint scheme as well. He's currently not on the track, it looks like, actually. So we'll see if we can find somebody else that might be out there. There is Anthony Marshall. There's the 74 of Justin Burnham. But with that, though, that is the end of practice. So Sartaj Mann and Ben Lacey, the top two in practice. And as the day starts to fade, we get ready to go here for qualifying. And we look to see one of the first cars on track right now is the 62 of Zach Probst. He'll be the first one rolling off of pit road here, ready to go in qualifying. So Zach Probst will hit the line after his warm-up to start his first timed lap here. One of the first cars out on track tonight. Looks like the 10 car of Jason Powell is on his first lap as well. So I see also the 83 of Jared Wilson out setting his first lap. But the first lap time, of course, will be set by Zach Probst as he crosses the stripe. This time, when he hits the line, he's going to put it at a 31.023, actually a 39.87, excuse me. Of course, we'll put him to the top of the board for now. We wait to see some of the other lap times. Kate Atkins out there. The 16 of Jonathan Canfield is out there. I believe that is the 25 of Alonso Chicano. He is indeed out there as well. So we see some more lap times going down. There is a 10 of Jason Powell going to the top of the board with a 34.89, now a 32.29 by Alonso Chicano. Jonathan Canfield goes third fastest as Probst goes to complete his second lap. He's going to put it at a 33.84, going to put him back up to second fastest. And there you see Michael Kruger now up to the fourth position. We're going to follow along with this 81 machine here, driving that KFC scheme that we saw some of the drivers for Chance 2 Motorsports drive a couple years ago in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Looks like Christian Pacheco goes third fastest. He's another driver that drives one of those junior motorsports-based paint schemes. A lot of guys in these different cars drive those junior-based schemes. And so we see that, it's a trend that Noah Maori kind of started, it feels like, and everybody else kind of toes along with. So Michael Kruger goes to fourth fastest on the board with a 33.29. So Chicano's still on the pole. Zachary Wareham goes fourth fastest. And then there is Ben Lacey. Puts it on the pole for his first lap with a 30.190. We'll look to see what he can do on lap 2. So as we see Ben Lacey coming around the corner here, he will complete a lap. His second lap, excuse me. And he will not improve. So he will hold the pole position, but does not improve his lap time. It looks like Sartaj Mann is currently out on track. There's Doug Denise, that 40 car I wanted to highlight earlier. He's got another one of those patriotic paint schemes. He completes his second lap. It's going to be a 34 flat, excuse me. It's going to keep him in the 11th position. Brian Dees up to the 5th position with his qualifying lap. And I can hear someone scurrying around in the background. As we see Dalton Kilroe, I believe we have a guest in the booth. It is JCTV's own Adam Kuhn. Adam, welcome to the booth.
Evening, Dawson. Excited to be here. Ready to see Las Vegas racing for the Slide Jawb Racing League. We saw quite a show last week at Chicagoland. You were part of the broadcast, of course, not part of the main call. Glad you were part of that, though, to help me and Josh in the booth. That was quite a show we saw. Ben Lacey was right there in the thick of it and not leaving top of the leaderboard right now early in qualifying.
Yeah, it was last week was a bit of a different production, so to speak, for the Slide Jawb Racing League. More so a driver just producing, someone just producing the broadcast that you saw last week. That was me. Couldn't speak, still kind of can't speak, but we're still here anyway. So looking back at some of the seasons as we continue on with qualifying, as Mark Frimpong completes his first go around, excuse me. I'm trying to look and see about some stats here to let you know about what to expect from some of these drivers here tonight as Frimpong goes to complete his first lap. That was his warm up, so he is going on his first lap here. Just looking to see some of the history of this racetrack here in the Slide Jawb Racing League, at least for the past 5 seasons, because right now that's what I have the easiest access to. So Frimpong will go with 31.121 his first lap, not very fast, 22nd fastest actually of 22 that I set a lap time. So looking to improve his second lap. But right now, it looks like of drivers in the field here tonight, we do have a couple defending race winners, a couple drivers who have won here before, including defending race winner Derek Paulson. He won it back in season 9. In season 8, it was a it was a chase race that was won by Noah Mary. That was the last time we were here in the Xfinity cars. I see Mark Frimpong go 8th fastest on the board. He goes a 30.297. Looking back to see, there is your defending race winner, uh, Derek Paulson. He is driving the Marielle scheme, of course, this week as he goes a 34.04 for his first timed lap. But Adam, who do you think benefits more from having previously won a race? Would you say it would be Paulson who won in the next gen car, or would you say it maybe leans a little more towards Noah Mayuri who won in this Xfinity car?
Definitely tonight, Noah Mayuri winning here in this car. A lot of differences from the Gen 6 because we saw a race last season. A huge advantage in comparison for Mayuri. Right now, 6 on the board for him and Paulson a little bit further down. So we're going to see them both be at the front at some point tonight, probably, if we see things go the way we saw last week. Here's Jackson Glenn Austin turning his first lap of the night.
Yeah, Jackson Glenn Austin, another driver driving one of those red, white, and blue schemes here tonight. Of course, that is the theme for the race tonight. Well, at least blue and white. Not a lot of red on there. It looks like it, if at all. But tonight he looks to go with a new paint scheme. A 36.02, however, is not going to improve his lap time any. He stays 23rd. Looking back here, looks like Ty Marasco is rolling off pit road with just 3 minutes to go here in qualifying. So just kind of looking, just kind of poking around, like I said, through the previous years to see who won and when they ran. They did not run this racetrack. They ran this track as a season opener in season 7. Cameron Hearn was the race winner of that race. Back in season 6, AJ Stravato was your race winner, and in season 5, Frank DiMaggio was the race winner at Las Vegas. I don't see a lot of guys that are in this league. I don't see DiMaggio or Stravato often here, if at all, recently. So I'm willing to say those are some of the guys that were here, the older crop, before they moved on from this league, is what it seems like. But I could be wrong. I could just be missing their names and everything. But as of right now, we're watching Ty Marasco go for his first time lap. It's a 30.485 that bumps him to 22nd. Blaze McKinney puts a 34.58 for his first lap. And Glenn Bunner Jr. completes his third lap at a 30.348. That's 15th fastest, but we follow along with Marasco to see where he can put it. And it looks like one other driver has entered the track to set his qualifying. It looks like Jonathan Parker is now out on track to qualify. So as Marasco rounds it through 3 and 4 at the start finish line this time, he will improve slightly. A 33.95 will put that number 1 car to 19th fastest. But we watched this 48, Jonathan Parker, last week's winner at Chicagoland. Adam, you have watched Jonathan a lot in many other leagues here on JCTV. What do you see in this 48 that could possibly lead to a strong run throughout the season?
A lot of more runs like he performed on last week if he can continue the success. He spun out last week on lap 1, overcame that. He went off strategy. No caution came out on that spin on the brake straightaway he suffered last week. Spun off in the grass, kept going. Mentioned he went on different strategy. Caution helped him to get back on everyone else's, but he made great positioning doing that. Went all the way up into the contention of the race lead, and he stayed up there all night long and won that race. Now he leads the standings with Mark Frimpong. They're both tied at the top of the board. He can definitely perform a lot like that this season, a lot tonight with the fourth fastest lap right now in qualifying.
And he will stay there, 33.78, just slower that next time around. So it looks like that will do it for qualifying as we have our field ready to go. We've got two drivers who have won here previously. Derek Paulson and Noah Mayuri, of course, have won at Vegas before. That are in the field tonight, at least all the way back to season 5. Trying to look and dig around through the remaining seasons, see if I can't figure anything out. So let's look and see if I can poke around some more really quickly before we get underway, just to see if Vegas popped up on any of the schedules throughout these series. And if they did, we'll see if that driver is with us here tonight racing. But right now, let's go ahead actually first before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at your starting grid here presented by JCTV. So starting in row 1, it's Ben Lacey. And to his outside is defending series champion Dalton Kilroe. Alonso Chicano and Jonathan Parker, two familiar faces, finding themselves in row number 2. In row 3 sees Ethan Fonseca Moreno and Michael Thorpe Jr. Row 4 sees Noah Mayuri and Sartaj Mann. And row 5, is Mark Frimpong and Brian Dees to round out the top 10. Adam?
Starting on row 11 is going to be Christian Pacheco in the 88, alongside Luke Nupp, last week's runner-up. Zachary Wareham starts on row 12 alongside Michael Kruger. Paulo starts in 10 alongside Blaze McKinney in the 87. Burden in the 66 on row 14 alongside Denise in the 40. Zach Probst and Ty Maraska round out the top 20 starters, Dawson.
Starting in the 21st position is Justin Johnson. To his outside will be Dane Cruz. Back there in row number 12 is going to be Derek Paulson, defending race winner, and Caden Atkins. Then you see back there in row 13, it's Zach Amon and JCTV's own Jonathan Canfield. In spot 27, you see Jared Wilson and Jackson Glenn Austin. And then William Turnbull and Blaine Sparling round out your top 30. Then we've got 3 more entrants there. Robert Lukens, Anthony Marshall, and Justin Burnham. That is your field for tonight's race. Adam, we've seen the field, we've run them down, but who do you think is going to wind up in victory lane tonight?
I'm going to pick a guy we see a lot on JCTV. On Saturday nights, get a lot of wins. Not so much this season, though, recently. Alonso Chicano, he's got a lot of success in this Xfinity car, especially on mile and a halves. Las Vegas, very kind track to him in the past. Qualified up front, so I think 25 is going to stay up there tonight.
If you're going to go for a JCTV guy that races in this on with us a lot on Saturday nights, I think I'm going to do the same. I'm going with the 81 of Michael Kruger. I believe that he'll have what it takes to get it done tonight. Starting 14th, a little bit further back in the field, but I think he's got what it takes to get it done here tonight. Michael Kruger in that 81 machine will be in victory lane. And so, with that, we get ready to go underway. And of course, Josh Coppernoll not with us here tonight. He is under the weather, not feeling very good. Not under the weather, he's just not feeling very good. So we wish him well. I know he's watching, however. So Josh, we will make fun of you tonight. Don't you worry. Pace car is going to dive down pit road, leaving the field in the hands of Ben Lacey and Dalton Kilroe as they head down the front straightaway to the Geico restart zone. And the green flag is out. We are racing here at Las Vegas. Saw Lacey and Kilroe just about leaning on each other as they enter into the restart zone, getting ready to go here. But Lacey is going to clear out front for the race lead early on. Still side by side, though, is row number 2, Alonso Chicano and Dalton Kilroe. They are now side by side, neck and neck here, heading through 3 and 4. As Ben Lacey leads lap 1, I see in the background there, they are just about 4 wide for a second there. Justin Johnson down here in the inside lane is fighting to pick off some spots if he can. And then right here you see Pacheco, Nupp, and I believe that's Brian Dees to the middle there as they continue to battle. And I see something disgusting here. This is a patriotic night. This is the USA cars, the American cars on the track, and there's a Canadian car that snuck in. That is the 12 of Zachary Wareham. I don't know who allowed him to drive this car. He said hashtag not sorry on the rear bumper. He should be sorry for what he did there. But you see him riding around right now in the 11th position. He had a good qualifying run. Looking to back that up with a good performance in the race here tonight. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah, you mentioned the patriotic scheme on Williams' car. I don't believe he's the only Canadian driver we have supporting their home country in this patriotic race tonight. Little stands out of the crowd, like you mentioned, from the rest of the field, though.
Yeah, they're willing to stand out and make a little bit of a statement about it. But they're having fun. Of course, everybody having fun with these paint schemes here tonight. I believe there's another Canadian just a little bit further back. I believe that is the 66. Excuse me. No, that is actually the 2 of Caden Atkins in that Canadian-based scheme. That Maple Leaf on the hood. Driver the number 2. Of course, it doesn't have to be American, pride. It could be anything. And you see here, though, however, as we were doing that, Alonso Chicano has gotten to the race lead. Ben Lacey looked like he slid up in turns 1 and 2 and opened the bottom up. And here came Chicano to the race lead. So now the 25 out front.
Yeah, but don't look now because here comes the rest of the pack right on the rear of Alonso Chicano and Ben Lacey. Dalton Kilroe right there in third, Jonathan Parker heating up that position on his inside in fourth, and Michael Thorpe Jr. right there in fifth, as well as Sartaj Man has slid up into sixth place. He got around Ethan Moreno a couple laps ago, our Daytona winner 3 weeks ago, up in that sixth spot now.
Yeah, everybody's battling for positions here, and you see there, Noah Mayuri, your Season 8 winner here at Las Vegas, currently scored in the 7th position, battling with Zachary Wareham to his outside and Moreno to his back bumper. But up front, it's Alonso Chicano leading the way here on lap number 7 with hard-charging Jonathan Parker not too far behind. There you see Parker take that 2nd position. Field still really tight together, even tighter there. Oh, Wareham got set up by Lacey. Slight contact puts the 12 up top, dropping positions now on the outside as he had to get out of it to keep it out of the wall. Very good heads-up driving by Zachary Wareham as he was able to recover there.
Yeah, it was a good save by Zachary Wareham, you mentioned. He was just outside the top 5, Dawson. He was really the only car tonight we've seen slice through the top 5 like that. And he did a good job saving the car. We haven't seen a lot of change in shifts inside that top 10, so he was doing a good job. We have a change for the lead, though, up front now. So side by side down the back straightaway.
Under fire now. Here comes Jonathan Parker to the inside of Alonso Chicano for the race lead.
Just behind them, the 2x2, really with Sartaj Man and Ben Lacey behind them. And Dalton Kilroe and Michael Thorpe side by side for that 5th position.
Still side by side for the race lead. Chicano holding strong on the outside in that Celsius Live Fit Camaro. And Parker going to have to drop back in line behind him. But you see a little bit further back. As this front back is all nice and easy, they're still 2x2 all the way back here. Everybody battling for any spot they can get.
Yeah, right now, this is the danger zone. A lot of cars right here. One incident from one of the guys in the main pack, and nowhere for these guys to go other than checking up into the guy just ahead of them. And this is where we see a lot of carnage on minor halves. We saw almost an incident like that at Chicago last week. Very easy to do at Las Vegas. It gets a little narrow through the banking in 1 and 2.
They're 3 wide right here. Caden Atkins in the middle of it. There's Probst on the inside. Marasco to the outside. Derek Paulson right there as well. Somehow they're going to sort it out. Of course, Michael Falk must be watching this, tense as ever. Two of his cars right here in the midst of all of this, battling it out there, Paulson and Marasco. But still kind of out back, still battling. But right now, back up front, battle for the lead, heating back up once again. Parker's here, but now look who's in third. Sartaj Mann making a charge for this race lead.
Yeah, why we see this battle for the lead. Chicano gets clear of Parker for the time being. That battle for third was won out by man you mentioned. Clear of Ben Lacey, about 3 car lengths ahead of him, now trying to drive away. Dalton Kilroe got that 5th spot, kept it from Michael Thorpe Jr. Ethan Moreno back up to 7th, and Parker diving back to the inside for the lead. Going to slide up here off of turn 2. Saudage Man now all place to go, trying to continue to threaten for that 2nd spot.
He's making the outside work, trying to get around this 48. Can't quite do it. But he is right there putting pressure on Parker. And that's the best thing that Chicano can see in his mirror is this 49 and this 48 starting to race each other.
Oh, absolutely. We haven't seen much of that pack
Ooh!
spread out like we mentioned a little bit ago, and there is Taj Man sliding up on corner exit. We mentioned a lap ago he was running that top lane and making it work. Now he's on the inside of Jonathan Parker, sliding the rear end of that 49.
Super close to having an issue there for these two drivers running second and third, as Parker just about saw his race go upside down yet again early on. But right now he's back on the back bumper of Chicano, putting pressure on him once again for the race lead.
And while Parker contends for the lead, that slide from Man is going to allow Lacey to really make it almost a 5-car battle for the lead again. Dalton Kilroe comes in the fight. All these guys separated by 7/10 of a second.
Still, though, it's Chicano leading. But they're all doing their best to get around him. Battle for 10th right now between Zachary Wareham and Luke Knupp. Wareham trying to recover after that incident with Lacey early on. And he's going to have an issue with Knupp. This time, Wareham's going to go on the wall.
And that's big contact for Zachary Wareham. He caught it 2 or 3 more times down the backstretch, Dawson. He's going to get out of everyone's way here in turn 3, but going to be an issue for him to try and pit. He might not even make pit road this time.
He's going to have to try to ride it out, I think, is what he's going to try to do. But that was a heavy hit for that 12 of Zachary Wareham. I'm going to go back and see what happened. Racing with Luke Knupp for the 10th position, trying to rebound after the contact with Lacey in just about the same manner. But this time it happened a little bit later. With Lacey, it happened in the middle of turn 2. Here, it was on corner exit and just pow, right there into the wall. Heavy contact. Big time damage to that 12 of Zachary Wareham, and that just, you hate to see it too. He's been so good this season. He's been improving massively, and I think he's been one of my dark horse picks to make a push for the championship. But so far, not so good here for Zachary Wareham as he pulls it down pit road. Currently will be scored 33rd. He's going to go a lap down, obviously. He's going to need a caution here if he can get it.
Yeah, obviously he didn't want to ride it out there. Just trying to repair it and see if he can get some laps and get some points here at the end of the race, but it's going to be a long haul. While we see the battle for third up here. Ben Lacey was on the inside, so Taj Man did not get it working. Here comes Dalton Kilroe to his outside, trying to challenge for 4th now.
Kilroe, of course, the defending series champion. Looking to do anything he can to get to the front here. But right now, kind of sitting in 5th as he's Man and Lacey side by side once again, continuing to battle with each other for this race lead. Mentioned Lacey's 6 wins on his career, a majority of which coming last season, in season 9, 4 of them. Last season for that 7-car at Phoenix, Watkins Glen, Richmond, and then Sonoma. And then he, of course, scored a win in Season 8 at Chicagoland, and then, of course, Season 5 at Talladega for his first career win. That is the story of Ben Lacey here in the Slide Jawb Racing League as we enter Season 10. Coming off of that championship, 3rd place finish last season, looking to rebound. But he's going to have a long battle ahead of him. And compare that to Dalton Kilroe, your season champion last year. Of course, all of his wins coming all of his wins coming in season 9, excuse me. All 5 of them came last season, winning at Chicagoland, Michigan, Bristol, Pocono, and Martinsville. So, he's known about winning last season, and he's looking to pick up where he left off. But right now, he is in 5th, following behind Mann, Lacey, and now the battle for the lead once again between Parker and Chicano.
Looking at this battle for third, Dawson separated the top 2 by about half a second. This is the biggest gap we've seen for those two. Or really any top 2 all race long. I know we were early on, but it's been a close race so far, and it's continuing to be a tight race right now for that third position. Sartaj Man going to tuck in line behind Ben Lacey right now, but Dalton Kilroe all over his back bumper for that 4th spot now.
Yeah, definitely diving down, trying to make a move on him for this 4th position is Dalton Kilroe as he goes down there, looking to run that bottom lane, going to run right up tight with that 49. They are side by side here, heading down the front straightaway. Just looking throughout the rest of the field here, going to highlight our man, Jonathan Canfield in the 16. Right now, running 26. He's running like Josh Coppernoll picked him because he's not doing superb, I should say. But he is out there. He's still plenty clean, plenty of racing left, but just kind of maybe saving his stuff for the later stages of this race. It's only lap 24 of 133 laps, so he's definitely kind of taking it a little easier as he passes Timer Asco for the 25th position. So that is your JCTV driver update. And looking up front, I think we had somebody blink out. Might have been Ben Lacey, kind of through the graphics for a loop there. But you can see they are catching up on lap traffic. That is the 62 of Zach Probst. You can see damage to that 62. So looking to see if anything happened to Zach Probst. Indeed, I might have found it here. Gonna see if I can look back and see what happened. Really quick, this is the 62 Zach Probst. This was about lap 19. Oh, wow, contact with the 40. Wow!
That was a big hit for Probst. Unfortunately, he did not get a caution drawn from that, despite his spins there. Not on the racing surface, unfortunately, and lucky to stay on the lead lap, actually, from all of that. He is going to lose it, though, here very shortly, and he is probably very damaged from that, I'd have to take a guess, Dawson, so he's just going to try and hang on here for the rest of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to just be hanging on for dear life for the rest of this race. So, and Zachary Wareham still on pit road, now 8 laps down, still getting damage repaired, or possibly just not even considering coming back out to finish this race. That is to be determined. We'll have to see. But I mean, Probst's spin right there. The fact he didn't get a caution is kind of shocking. With it being a spin like that, a 2-car accident with the 40 as well suffering. Doug Denise was involved in that. He's up to 29th right now, but I guess he got, he didn't get the worst of it. Kurt Busch obviously got the worst of it, not Elliott Sadler. But as we see here, Chicano and Parker continuing to battle. On lap number 28, we're going to take you on a quick side-by-side break. You don't want to go anywhere. It is the Slide Jawb Racing League, presented by Michael Falk Racing Designs, only on JCTV. Alonzo Chicano, your race leader.
Hey man, you cut me off back there. What you gonna do about it? Oh man. Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola when the race all right, fine. Are we good? We're good.
Ooh. Call Logano. Hey, Joey, you can save money if you fill up at Shell if you use Advanced Auto Parts Speed Perks.
Dude, I'm way ahead of you.
You saved at the pump?
Yeah, I saved at the pump.
The pump?
The pump.
You saved at the pump!
Woo! Now you can save at the pump when you shop at Advance Auto Parts. Learn more at advanceautoparts.com/gas rewards.
Now, it's my turn.
Kyle Busch, welcome to Menards. What can I help you with today?
Well, I've got my shopping list right here. I need some green treated lumber. I need a brown Mastercraft door. I need red Clearview cabinets and some blue Dutch Boy paint.
Those are M&Ms.
And
At Menards, we carry the world's best selection of home improvement products to help you complete your next project.
you've got more of these, right?
It's all gonna fit in your car?
I got a trunk.
Save big money at Menards.
This season, Denny Hamlin knows there's nothing worse than losing. Not a caution on lap 2. Not having to drive an entire race with someone you have nothing in common with.
Mind if I play some CDs? Forget it.
Not getting a sunburn, then putting on a wool sweater. Losing is even worse than finding out your favorite Mexican restaurant has become a year-round Christmas store.
Hola, señor Denny. No bueno, Carlos.
Denny Hamlin knows that anyone who says there are worse things than losing has never won anything.
As a Grand Prix world champion in triathletes, I know how important it is to stretch before any competition.
I also know it's important to stretch. Mobil One's advanced technology lubricates our engines
Yes, that is true.
and my joints.
Oh my word.
Soda cookies. You want one, Jensen?
Man, we're door to door. I have the better car, fresher tires. I drove it in deep, and you missed it. I know you wanted to watch it, but you got throttled by your data plan, and it slowed you down. You hit your data limit streaming all that techno music, didn't you? I mean, really? Man, you've got some questionable taste in music.
Switch to Sprint, the only network with truly unlimited data.
Joey, I don't know how you pulled that off, man. What's next? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, come. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, Coca-Cola. Oh, Coca-Cola.
Welcome you back here to the SMB Marketing 200 here at Las Vegas. It's been an exciting race so far. Definitely a lot of fun. But there's still plenty more to go. There's some people that are going to try to make a little gamble, so to speak, to try to get to the front here. And right now, Alonso Chicano has benefited the most. His pit stops are now underway. Drivers pulling it down pit road to make their first stops of the night. Noah Mayuri, one of them, Zach Amon, Glenn Bundren Jr. down pit road as well. So some drivers electing now to pit here after 37 laps. See a battle for second between Sartaj Mann and Ben Lacey. And it looks like Mann might be dropping down to the apron trying to pit this time. You see Alonso Chicano coming to pit road. Wow. That was impressive. I mean, that was flat out, beating your competition on the pit road. I want to take a look back at that really quick and see if we can see it here. Just how well he does it. Now, by this point, Alonso's already called out that he's pulling the pit road. He pulls on the apron right here. So, Mann drives it a little bit harder, hooks it a little deeper, makes the pass, and gets to pit road. That is a masterclass of a pit stop. Of a pit entry, I would say, by that 49 of Sartaj Mann. But right now, Dalton Kilroe out on track. And Brian Dees, the only two left to make it down pit road, as Ben Lacey is on pit road with Jonathan Parker. So Dalton Kilroe pulls down pit road, as does Brian Dees. And so that should hand the lead over, I believe. It's going to be close. But it looks like it might be Sartaj Mann coming out on pit road, coming out first off that pit cycle. So that pass that he was able to make on Alonso Chicano wound up being the move for the race lead.
Yeah, very, very great pit entry there by Sautage. You mentioned it, and it's gonna, like you said, give him the race lead right here as they pass Kilroe on the flat. New leader Sautage, man, and don't look now, Noe Meiri is flying right now. He is up to second, just got by Luke Nupp, and he is trying to run down that 49 right now, and it looks like a rare going into turn one.
Yeah, so right now, Sartaj Mann takes the lead. Noah Mayuri right there in second. Of course, we mentioned it. Season 8 winner here at Vegas. That the last time we came here in the Xfinity cars, because last year was in the next gen. This go around back in the Xfinity cars. So Mayuri, of course, won with this car, looking to do so again here tonight. There's Luke Nupp in third. He had the issues with Wareham earlier. But right now, he's able to recover to third. There is Alonso Chicano back here in fourth after that cycle. Of course, losing the lead pretty much on that move by Sartaj Mann to try to overtake him on pit entry, which worked in his favor. And then right here, Christian Pacheco, he pit earliest of all these drivers. And here you'll see he'll start to suffer a little bit as he'll start to get passed by Parker and Lacey. This 88 was the first car on pit road. And you'll see he'll have to start dropping back a little bit further and further each go around. But right now, Sartaj Mann leading, and the gap is closing. Mayuri is closing.
Yeah, you mentioned the 88 falling back, Christian Pacheco. He was in fourth coming off coming off the pit cycles there, all the way down to seventh already, in jeopardy of losing more spots. But another guy on the move, what is Alonso Chicano, the man who we assumed was going to retake the race lead there after pit stops. He had it before, but that phenomenal pit entry by Sautage, man, bumped him to fifth for a moment, back up to third with the fresh tires, and he's trying to run down Noah Mayuri right now. Closing in on that second spot faster than Mayuri is for the lead, as Sautage Man is catching the lapped car here.
That lapper that time is Jonathan Canfield in the 16, right ahead of the leaders. The caution is going to come out. Oh, it's Ben Lacey. Oh, huge contact for the 7 car. Oh, and no! Dane Cruz, nowhere to go. And that, just like that, Dane Cruz, from what was a bad incident to worse now for the 46. The caution is going to fly. We're going to look back and see what happened to take Ben Lacey for a ride here. A contact with Luke Nupp. And around it goes, a wild ride for the 7 of Ben Lacey. And you see everybody doing everything they can to miss it. But right here, it looks like Cruz is going to try to go for it low. And then he sees him pulling down. And, oh. Cruz was going for the low line, but Lacey was going to roll as well. And just like that, Dane Cruz, his night is likely done.
Yeah, it's a very unfortunate incident. We saw something almost similar last week with, unfortunately, Jonathan Canfield, except the caution had just flown last week, I believe, when that had happened, as we see some decisive pit decisions here. But yeah, that was just poor timing there with Ben Lacey rolling down the track, and Cruz coming at full speed almost, not quite slowed down all the way. Noah Mayer is going to lead these drivers down pit road, though, Dawson. Ethan Moreno right behind him.
That's actually the 29 of Luke Nupp on pit road. Ethan Fonseca Moreno right ahead of him. So of the drivers that pit that time, Moreno, Dees, Nupp, McKinney, and it's Paulson, Denise. Some of these guys might just be topping off on fuel like it looks like the 43 does. Derek Paulson, Brian Dees, Blaine Sparling, Luke Nupp, Blaze McKinney, Doug Denise, Justin Johnson, Ty Marasco, Zach Probst, Jason Powell, Justin Burnham looks like on pit road as well. Maybe not. Looks like Marasco's the free pass actually. So everybody behind Marasco, staying out. So Moreno first off of pit road. He is 15th right now. We go back up to the front though. It's Sartaj Mann, the race leader. Noah Mary second. Alonso Chicano is third. Jonathan Parker fourth, and the fifth place car is Christian Pacheco.
Yeah, I called the wrong car there. Looking for Noah Mayer, and his normal paint scheme got thrown for a loop. Not in his normal scheme, of course, running a patriotic paint tonight. One car not returning to the track, though, from pit road is now behind the wall in the Neon Garage is Zachary Wim. We saw his contact with the wall in the backstretch a little bit earlier, Dawson. He's retired from the race a little bit ago, we saw, and he's done for the night. Unfortunate for him. He's had a rough start to the season.
Yeah, Anthony Marshall, Robert Lukens, and William Turnbull also no longer in the race. I want to see maybe if we can try to get a word in with 12. Maybe. Hey, Zachary Wareham, this is the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Alrighty, not the way you wanted this race to go, obviously. Take us through what you saw on your end with the incident with Luke Nupp.
Oh, that was definitely my fault. I was getting, as I stated in the chat following my exit from the session, I was really surprised with the turn of pace that I had in this opening stint. I was not expecting Vegas to go really well for me. But you guys are up in the booth saw it. I was hauling butt up through from my starting position from 13th all the way up to, I believe I was 4th or 5th at one point until I had my contact with Ben Lacey. And I guess at the end, I think that got to my head a little bit. I felt like, oh man, I'm really fast. I can like make really aggressive moves and stuff, and like it's gonna work out for me. And then I got a little bit too my ego got a little bit too big. I tried to move on a Nup that was never on. I got to his quarter panel. He had all the right to have the position, and I got too close to him. I bounced off into the wall. Definitely on me.
Well, it's been not the best of starts, I would say, but you have shown a lot of promise in these races. What do you take from this, with that speed to build up on for the rest of the season?
I definitely feel like I need to remember that this race was 133 laps long, not 40 laps long, and that's definitely the mindset that I was racing with there, and I can't keep doing that going forward. And I could already tell that as soon as I had my contact with Ben, that my tires were starting to fall off. So I knew that strategy wasn't even going to work out for me in the long run. So just calm down. Remember that these races are long. Can't be making moves like that so early, and I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Alrighty, that is Zachary Wareham wrecked out here at Las Vegas. And so with that, the pace car is going to pull off here, leaving the field in the hands of Sartaj Mann and Noah Mayuri. We're going to lead us back to the green flag here, back underway on lap 49 here at Vegas.
Really great launch for that 49 right now. Half a second almost away from the pack already as they're 2x2 in turn 1. Alonso Chicano going to clear Noah Mayuri easily there as he's now side by side with Jonathan Parker down the back straight.
I was getting ready to say, as Noah Mayuri got the wall a little bit there, maybe contact with Kilroe. Mann got a good jump, but Chicano got a better jump, shooting by everybody to get back up to second now. He's going to set his sights on the race leader as he looks to close the gap with Parker on his back bumper. Dalton Kilroe is now up to 4th, and Mark Frimpong now moves into this 5th spot. Mayuri running this top lane, running really wide here. It's going to get really tight really quick.
Yeah, 8 is in trouble. He might have damage after that wall contact.
Spinning! And around goes the 6 of Derek Paulson. They're going to pile up behind. The caution's going to fly for the second time tonight. Derek Paulson's in it. Looks like Blaine Sparling got a piece. And Brian Dees is in it. Michael Falk, turn away.
That's really tough luck for Brian Dees. He hasn't had the speed tonight that we expected at 17. He has had flashes of being up towards the front. He just hasn't had it to work out tonight, and now this incident really going to put him on the behind the 8 ball here tonight in Vegas for the rest of this race. But no Mary, what a save, what a slide right here out of this 8 car.
And back in the background, Dees and Paulson involved in this accident here are going to go on board with that 17 of Brian Dees for this incident. You'll see up ahead, I think it's the 66 that gets in the back of Mary, and then right there, Dees had nowhere to go, hits the 6 of Paulson, then he gets hit in the back. I believe that was by Sparling. That we'll have to double check and see.
A lot of close calls, right? The guys just squeaking right through. Some guys slowing down, some guys not, and a lot of heads-up driving from some of the guys spinning out there.
Well, it looks like actually Luke Nupp was the one that hit Dees into Paulson, and then Sparling at the end there, just no shot at missing it. That's what got him involved. But
Yeah,
that's all it
absolutely
takes.
nowhere for Sparling to go.
All it takes is one small incident to happen, and that brings everybody together. And you saw it there. Glenn Bundren Jr. just got that left rear of Noah Mayuri, sent him around, and then that stack up that happens, the accordion effect, as everybody else is trying to miss it, somebody gets into somebody else, and it stacks the field up, and we saw that there. 2 of the MF Racing designed cars involved. Derek Paulson, of course, the defending race winner. Looks like he is still on pit road. Not sure the extent of that damages, but I don't want Marielle looking at that either, as that car's got some damage on it. As mentioned in the practice session earlier, this is the second week we've seen Marielle paint scheme on the racetrack. Last week was Dalton Kilroe. This week it's Derek Paulson, but this week didn't fare as well so far. Involved in a wreck here on lap number 50. Well, I'm under caution. Let's see if we can get a hold of our JCTV reporter. Adam, what do you say?
Let's see if we can get a word with him. Hey, Jonathan, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, you barely missed that incident there, it looks like. Just before that, tail end of the lead lap, how's this Las Vegas race going for that 16 amps oil machine?
So far it's pretty clean. I wish the driver would get his head out of his rear end and stop speeding on pit road, but we're still in it. Only 2 laps down, plenty of racing left here. I have full confidence that I'm going to be able to finish this race if I can just avoid the incidents. And car feels really good on the long run, so I'm hoping we can get some green flag runs in if I can get back on the lead lap.
Well, you mentioned the incidents on the restart. What did you see on that most recent one, and what do you expect on this next?
I see some side-by-side racing, guys really not wanting to give an inch here early, but you got to be patient here. 133 laps. We ain't even really halfway in the race yet, so hoping to see some more patience here, and I'm just glad I avoided that one. I went for the brakes and realized I wasn't going to have time to slow down, and the seas just kind of parted for me at the right time.
All right, we're going to let you get back up in there and with your team, and good luck rest of the race, Jonathan. Maybe we'll catch a word in with you later.
All right, thanks, guys.
Of course, Jonathan Canfield in the booth with us here on JCTV, usually on Friday and Saturday nights. Of course, Friday night, I believe, is the season finale for the NAOR series. Correct?
Indeed, it's going to wrap up Friday night from Michigan International Speedway.
Yeah, so the NAOR series, the Dig Designs NAOR series, wraps up their season at Michigan. Of course, it'll be Josh, Adam, and John on the call for that one Friday night. And then, of course, me and you pick up Saturday with John for the Independence Truck Series, which also has its finale here this week at Kansas. So right now, as it stands, of course, points over there, Jonathan Parker currently 3rd in this race. So long as he starts on Saturday, he locks up the championship pretty much. So you're looking right there at two in the Pits News Truck Series champions going for battle here tonight. But they're going to have to fight for it because Sartaj Man is strong here tonight. And he's been strong all season, so it's going to be a battle here. Pace car's going to dive off, leaving the field in the hands of Sartaj Man and Alonso Chicano on the front row. Lap 55 will get the green flag back out. We are back underway here at Vegas.
Another great start by Sartaj Man. Alonso Chicano was not able to do what he did last time, not able to replicate that magic. He's going to fall to third, to Jonathan Parker right there, and he's going to race side by side with Mark Frimpong down the back straightaway.
And Chicano stuck on the outside. He's going to see if he can try to make it work. If he can, great. If not, he'll just battle for that third spot right now as Kilroe's not close enough to really capitalize, and he's now under fire by Michael Thorpe Jr. in the 34.
Sartaj Man not able to get a huge lead like he did on that last start either. Jonathan Parker is right there, and so is Mark Frimpong. Not going anywhere is anyone in this top four. Chicano still running that higher line.
Tell you what, he's starting to make that outside lane work a little bit more for him as he continues to fight to the outside of Frimpong. Clears him, now sets his sights on Jonathan Parker for this second position, who's now setting his sights to Sartaj Man for the race lead. So this top three all right there, ready to battle for these positions. Now Chicano and Parker, are side by side.
Yeah, Parker looked like he wanted to tuck the nose on, and the inside of Man couldn't do it. Had to roll out of the throttle, allowed Chicano to pounce, and he is trying to pounce for the race lead right now on the inside of Man, trying to slide here off of turn 4, couldn't get the job done off the corner. Let's see him trying to mow down the straightaway. Gonna use that apron, trying to use all the track he can, not making it work right now, but into turn 1 he's got the advantage.
He's going to slide up in front of Man. Man's going to give him a bumper. What an impressive move by Alonso Chicano to get to the race lead. Now Parker's to the inside of Man for second.
Chicano working both lanes, really. Tried not to give either one of them too much draft. Now he's going to push from Sartaj Man into one. Parker looking on the inside, but Chicano's going to be clear. Parker clear for second.
They continue to fight for this race like it means everything. And I want to point out, looking at this field right here, Alonso Chicano has had success in the Pits News Truck Series, as has Jonathan Parker this year. Jonathan Parker won the In the Pits News Truck Series race at Las Vegas this season. And the winner in Season 1, of course, not racing with us, but Season 3, Vegas came back. Parker was able to notch the victory, and so he looks to do the same here tonight in the Slide Jawb Racing League as he gets to the inside of Alonso Chicano, side by side for the race lead once again.
That was a great turn, too, from that 48 car. He was able to tuck up on the inside of that 25 Celsius machine, entering turn 3. I think it caught Alonso a little bit by surprise. He was forced to run that higher lane for the first time in quite a few laps, and they're going to be side by side yet again in turn 1.
These two are fighting like this is the last lap. I mean, this is just fantastic. Chicano is going to clear for now and take over the race lead once again, but Parker now going to try to drift up to that high side and see if he can't make it work here as Chicano clears for the race lead. Sartaj Man now under fire from Dalton Kilroe for the third position now.
One driver who snuck up into the top 10 a little bit further back, played pit strategy, I think, a little bit perfect. Got a little bit fortunate with that caution that we saw come out. Jackson Glenn Austin in the 8th spot, running really well. He didn't have the best qualifying results. Now he's up inside the top 10, so doing a phenomenal job rebounding in the second half of the race, before we even get to the second half of the race.
And you see 2 cars behind him. Michael Kruger's right there as well. I mean, Michael Kruger silently outside of the top 10. Now finds himself in the 10th position, slowly working his way Right now he's in top 10. And he's looking to try to march further forward, but right now up front it's still Chicano and Parker battling for this race lead. Now Kilroe trying the outside lane, trying to make it work on Sartaj Man if he can. Can't quite do it, but you see here Parker has rolled back up on Chicano, ready to battle for the race lead again.
And the battle for third is really heating up as Parker goes to the inside of Chicago for the race lead. Yet again into turn 1, 48 on the inside of the 25 through 1 and 2.
These two just cannot get away from each other. I mean, they are just inseparable, but they are putting on a show tonight as they continue to battle for this race lead. Parker wants to get out front. Chicano does not want to give it up and does not want to let him by. But you see here, Sartaj Man was able to put Kilroe back on the back burner for now and is looking out the windshield, not the mirror, to see if he can try to track back down the 48 and the 25 and try to put himself back in the mix for this race lead again.
We haven't mentioned Mark Frimpong since he slid out of the battle for the lead. He's fallen all the way to 6th spot, right ahead of Zach Amon right there. Trying to get a spot on Michael Thorpe Jr. right ahead of him. Can't do anything yet with him as these guys continue to race very hard inside the top 5. Mark trying to just get back inside though.
You see Michael Thorpe Jr. right up ahead. He peeked the nose of the inside of Kilroe, couldn't quite make the move, and so now he's going to have to drop back and set up to go for it again. You see Michael Kruger trying to work the bottom of the 28 of Jackson Glenn Austin and Glenn Bunner Jr. in the 66. Can't quite do it. Zach Amon's going to the top, and I mean the top. He's going all the way up to that top groove. We're going to see if he can try to make something work here. But he's going to have to keep at it if he wants to really get that rubber down and make it work and make it roll. But right now, it's kind of gotten back to single file racing. Parker is still right there with Chicano, but just can't quite get to the lead. There's battles all over the racetrack right now for positions. Some guys trying to swap it around. Moreno and Glenn Austin battling for the 10th spot right now. There's Ethan to the inside.
Yeah, Ethan was one of those who pitted on that caution. I believe he's our first one of those drivers leading the field on a little bit fresher tire, just a couple of laps fresher than everyone who made those green flag pit stops. So 43 trying to motor back up through the field was in the top 10 to start the race.
Ooh, in the wall, Jackson Glenn Austin in the background. I was just getting ready to say, Moreno didn't take tires. He just topped off on fuel, so he's looking to stretch a little bit longer than the rest of the field. But right there, Glenn Austin into the wall, right behind Moreno. You see Blaze McKinney was able to pick up a spot. Luke Knupp now in the background looking to pounce. And then just a little further back, everybody right here in this whole wad. That's Doug Denise, Christian Pacheco, Justin Johnson, Derek Paulson, Jared Wilson. There's the 10 of Jason Powell and Noel Mayuri in this group as well. There's Caden Atkins right behind him. They are all battling. This is from 14th all the way back to about 21st. Make it 22nd with Blaine Sparling in the picture as well. Back up front, you can throw the top 5, almost the top 6 under a blanket, how close they are now. As you see Chicano trying to drift up a lane. Parker's trying to wrap the bottom. Man and Kilroe trying to peek up as well. See if they can't make something work. Couldn't quite do it. So they're just going to fall back in line. You see Man's trying to peek to the bottom. He's going to have a run on Parker going for the 2nd spot.
Very tight off the corner there between the 49 and 48, and it's going to allow Kilroe to try and stick his nose. Here comes Thorpe to take that spot away from him. He's going to try and go for 2 for 1 here. Couldn't quite get on the inside of Parker like he thought he could. It's going to slide up the track on the exit also is Michael Thorpe. Not able to get any position there. Here comes Frimpong to now get inside the top 5.
As you see, Frimpong will slide into 5th. Here comes Thorpe back to the inside. Going to try to make it work, but can't quite do it to get his nose inside. And just like that, as Parker gets passed by Man, Chicano's trying to check out a little bit, trying to see if he can't pull away. Like, okay, guys, you all just keep battling behind me, and I'll go and run away with this race lead.
It's going to be difficult with Sartaj Man now occupying that 2nd spot. We saw how aggressive he was on pit entry, so I'm sure he's going to be extremely aggressive to not let that 25 drive away. Right there, just 0.3 of a second behind. He doesn't have much pressure out back as Jonathan Parker is worrying about Dalton Kilroe and his mirror.
So as Chicano still leading this race, Sartaj Man slots into second as they continue to battle for the third spot between Parker and Kilroe. Frimpong finds himself fifth, and then Michael Thorpe Jr. right there in the mix in sixth as well. We are going to step away for a quick side-by-side break. Don't go anywhere. You will not miss any of the action here in the SMB Marketing 200 at Las Vegas.
Practice went okay, but if it keeps pushing like that, what are you gonna do? Here we go.
Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola.
Can I get your autograph?
Yeah, sure.
I can't wait to show my grandson.
As a Formula One world champion, I strive to win everything.
And as a 3-time NASCAR champ, I never give up.
I should warn you, I am a triathlete.
Let's do this. Mobile One's advanced technology gives our engines the speed they need to win.
Right.
Works on my bike legs, too. Jensen, 4 letters, 3-time NASCAR champ. That oil made my legs real fast. Somebody get this guy a hanky?
We hope our non-existent ad partners are okay with us cutting away from that one because, oh my God, how on earth did they save that? Cutting back to look at what happened. Right here, the battle between Kilroe and Thorpe. Thorpe slides up the track into Kilroe, and just like that, they go sideways. Sideways again, and somehow, some way, Mark Frimpong kept it straight. Unreal. I'll take one more look at this. Contact made. Look at this 53. Steps out. Saves it. Steps out again. Keeps it off the wall. And keeps it straight. Phenomenal work by Mark Frimpong. Just amazing work. A Sartaj Man pits. Pit stops are underway, obviously. Wow.
Yeah, that was definitely a hair-raising moment. We saw that Boylan laps away. That battle for fourth was heating up, and all three of them did unbelievable jobs saving their cars. Meanwhile, we have a battle for the overall lead right now in the middle of this pit stop cycle. You mentioned Ethan Moreno. Did not take tires on that last caution. Only topped off on fuel. Here he is, a little bit longer fuel window than anyone else, of course, with that extra gas in the tank. We see one peeling off. Believe it's Luke Knupp. Actually not. It's Bundren Jr. coming on pit road in the 66. But Ethan Moreno is on the outside now. Dalton Kilroe for the race lead.
Moreno has 6 laps since his 6 laps less than his last pit 34 laps ago. But of course, topping off on fuel compared to Kilroe, who when he pit he filled it up as much as he did. So I think Moreno's be able to stretch it a little bit longer than Kilroe will be able to. We'll have to see how this plays out for Moreno as he takes the race lead away from Kilroe. You can see Blaze McKinney as well, one of those drivers that came down pit road at the same time. You see Christian Pacheco, 27 laps since he last pit, Luke Knupp 29. So these drivers are going to try to do a little bit of strategy. And you can't sneak away from the phrase here in Vegas. They're taking a gamble on what they can do and how far they can make it, what they can stretch, what they can't stretch, what they can make work. But you see here, Moreno, even with the advantage, is going to pit now.
Yeah, he must feel like he's in the window for his pit window to make it to the end with the tires. The fuel must be all aligned with everything, and it's going to allow him to peel on pit road like you mentioned. Michael Kruger up to second now with that. Looked like he was going to have a shot for the race lead on Dalton Kilroe going into 2-1 last time by. He's racing now down the back straightaway right behind that 41 car. Going back to the pit strategy, though, if these guys stay out and continue to stay out, as Michael Kruger peels off this time by, the longer Kilroe, McKinney, anyone else stays out, especially Pacheco, who is a little bit longer fewer than anyone else, it's going to put risk for Jonathan Parker, Alonso Chicano, Brian Dees, all those guys who, excuse me, not Brian Dees, but it's Ben Lacey. It's going to put those guys in threat of staying laps down and risk of losing this race because of a mistimed caution.
So as it stands right now, Kilroe is your race leader. 43 laps since he last pit. Blaze McKinney was out there for 37 laps. Christian Pacheco was out there for 29 laps. You see in the background right there, Jonathan Parker is looking to make a move here on the 87 Blaze McKinney. Now going to set his sights on Dalton Kilroe. He is the first car lap down as it stands right now. He has cycled ahead of Sartaj Man, who's right there in the background. Chicano's right there, third in the image right there behind Man. You see Kilroe with an aggressive move to hold off Parker, at least as long as he could. I believe Kilroe is pitting this time. Indeed, he is. But you saw that there. That aggressive move to get to the bottom. So now Blaze McKinney, your race leader. You see Parker is clear out front of him as Man now gets his lap back. And right now it's going to be Alonso Chicano's turn to get by this 87. So those three are back on the lead lap. Mark Frimpong right there behind. He is currently scored 15th, the first car a lap down. So if anything were to happen right now, Mark Frimpong would be your free pass. But I believe McKinney is pitting this time. Indeed, he is. So as he hooks it to pit road, that'll hand the race lead over to the 88 Christian Pacheco, who pit 32 laps ago. I see a car around. Caution's out. Just like that. All it takes is one. Noah Mayuri's the one around.
And he's going to tow right back to his pit stall. He was racing Zach Amon. I was going to mention a moment ago, he had gained quite a few spots on that pit cycle. Now it's just gone up in the wall after contact with the 8. And another car went spinning down the front straightaway.
That was the 29 of Luke Nupp. I'm going to be honest, I don't necessarily know what happened with the 8. He just kind of shot up in the Maman, like something broke.
Poor Luke Nupp has been involved in almost, if not every caution tonight, and just got tagged there at the end and catches the outside wall. Kind of like the way he spun there reminds me of Christopher Bell's incident last year here at Las Vegas. Just wrong place, wrong time, tagged at the wrong moment, caught the outside fence. Luckily, he's already been beat up a couple times tonight. Maybe he's going to be able to keep going. Zach Amon as well. We saw Mary tow, so he's going to go quite a few laps down here.
Does Noah get loose up there and overcorrect into Amon right there? That's what it looks like. But watch this view from Caden Atkins. There's one miss, and there's two misses for that number 2. Close quarters racing leads you to missing stuff like that. I mean, that was just so close for that number 2 of Caden Atkins. Able to miss it, but again, this is going to shake everything up because some of these guys are going to have to take the wave around now rather than being on the lead lap. So as some of these drivers pit, obviously some of these guys are going to stay out maybe. Or perhaps you see some of these guys attempt to try and top off on fuel as they all make their way to pit road. Every lead lap car is on pit road. So yeah, they're going to try to top off on fuel and make sure they can make it to the end of this race. It's lap 88. I'm not very good at math, so let me try to crunch some numbers here. It's going to be, give or take, I think about 55 laps around that window. So it's going to be a stretch to try to make it on one stop from here. This stop, to make it on this stop. It's going to be a stretch, but I've seen crazier things happen. It's something we could see, but we haven't seen anybody try to do it yet. So after pit stops here, we will take you through your field, where everybody stands right now. This is how the field has shaken out. This is where we stand. Blaze McKinney, Derek Paulson, Christian Pacheco, Jared Wilson, Justin Johnson, they're your top 5. Then it's Blaine Sparling, Jonathan Parker, Sartaj Mann, Alonso Chicano, and Brian Dees. Then we have Mark Frimpong, Ty Marasco, and it looks like it's going to be Jackson Glenn Austin, Ty Marasco, and then Michael Thorpe Jr., and then Caden Atkins. That's your top 15. Ethan Fonseca Moreno is scored 16th. Doug Denise is scored 17th. Michael Kruger 18th. Jason Powell is 19th. And 20th is Glenn Bundren Jr. 21st, last car on the lead lap, is Dalton Kilroe. You see right ahead of race leader Blaze McKinney. Going to get the wave around from this one. Zach Probst, Luke Nupp, Zach Amon, 1 lap down. Then in 25th, 2 laps down, is Jonathan Canfield. 3 laps down in 26th is Ben Lacey. Then now out of the race, Noah Mayuri, Justin Burnham. Dane Cruz is currently 45 laps down, but still on pit road. I just want to say, in the time it would take to get an engine repaired after it blows up, he's about at that window. So if he's going to look to try to go back out there, he could go back out there and try to pick up some spots. But he's running out of time to get a bunch. He could probably jump the 74 of Justin Burnham, but it'll be close to getting by Noah Mayuri. William Turnbull, Robert Lukens, Anthony Marshall, Zachary Wareham. Those are your drivers that are currently out of the race as well, 30th through 33rd. So that is your field rundown here, presented by Mardon Technologies. Of course, shouting out Ryan Haynes, Mardon PCs, everything like that. If you're looking for a new PC build, like you see here, everything you see runs on a Mardon PC. Go hit up Brian Haynes, talk to mardontech.com, get you a new computer. Love this thing. This thing runs great for iRacing and everything else that I do. Everything you see stream-wise as well, it's all done through this computer here. It's a great piece. But we've got a race to determine here. The MFRD Slide Jawb Racing League here at Vegas. We're going to have, give it about 43 laps to go here on the restart. Blaze McKinney, Derek Paulson, Christian Pacheco, Jared Wilson, Justin Johnson, the top 5 as they come out of 3 and 4 into the tri-oval. Blaze McKinney going to lead us to the Geico restart zone. The green flag is back out. We're back to racing here at Vegas. Looking back here, Sartaj Mann sent it 3 wide and made the move stick to get by some of the slower cars. You see Michael Thorpe Jr. going to send it into the inside. He's going to hit Ty Marasco up the racetrack. And Ty Marasco's going to gather it up and save it, but he is going to drop like a rock, losing a ton of spots here after that one. And you see up ahead, just chaos. Everybody fighting for every spot they can get. Sartaj Mann battling with Derek Paulson, now setting his sights on Jared Wilson just up ahead.
Yeah, that was a really great start again by Sartaj Mann, being able to split through the traffic there, making it 3 wide almost immediately on the front straightaway to get a couple spots there, up to 4th now. In great position for the rest of this race as Alonso Chicano gets around Johnson in the 6th position right now. Quite a few car lengths behind 49.
Yeah, but Chicano's still got plenty of time. I mean, this race is nowhere near over. There's still plenty of racing left to do, and Chicano's just got to work his way through these cars to get up there with Mann. Parker's doing the same thing, stuck behind the 33 of Justin Johnson, but now to the inside looking to make the move for 7th. Chicano making the move to the outside of Derek Paulson. This is for the 5th position. And he will clear. Now Jonathan Parker looks to do the same. Jump into that outside lane. See if he can make some magic work as well. He's going to shoot for it. And he's going to get a run down the back and look to go for it. But right now, look up front for the lead. Top 3 under a blanket. Sartaj Mann looking to work this outside around Pacheco and McKinney at the same time. And if McKinney holds up Mann like that move right there, it's going to slow him up a little bit. Mann's going to have to back out of it and try to set this up a different way. That's going to help Chicano catching back up. And Parker as well, who's right there in the picture.
That was a great setup by Sartaj. I thought he was going to get both Pacheco and McKinney in one corner. He had to settle in and just get Pacheco down the back straightaway there. Now he has the sight set on just Blaze McKinney. Pacheco tucks in line pretty neat right behind him in third. You mentioned Chicano now on the inside of Jared Wilson. That's for fourth, about 3 car lengths behind these guys. Ooh, slide there for Chicano. Entering turn 2, couldn't quite get the power down like he wanted to pass the 83.
Yeah, but he's fighting hard on the inside. He knows anytime he loses, wasting more time trying to pass these guys is going to cost him more time to the 49, and he is going to work to the inside of Jared Wilson to get clear for this 4th position, and he just about might do it here this next go around. And you see right there, Mann's kind of sitting right in front of Pacheco. He's not really gunning for McKinney, more so just kind of setting up shop right there, kind of staying and riding around. I mean, he's not going for it yet. He's just kind of there.
Yeah, absolutely. No reason to push the tire. You mentioned Chicano having a little bit of issue getting through these these cars on different strategies who haven't been up front all night. He just got around Jared Wilson, now trying to get on the inside of Christian Pacheco. If Chicano's not there, no reason to abuse the tire, push the limits, put yourself at a risk of making a mistake, getting in the wall or something for Sartaj, man. And he's just, like you mentioned, just going at his own rate right now and no reason to push the car more than he needs to.
Now it definitely feels like he's pushing. He's closing the gap on Blaze McKinney this time around. He was slower last lap to the race leader, but now starting to push it a little bit more this go around at the start-finish line. He is going to be faster by 0.2. So it's definitely now starting to be a little more of a sense of urgency to push it and go for that race lead on the 87, as Chicano is still working to the outside of Christian Pacheco. If he can get clear, he'll have no one between him and Mann. Parker now still working around Jared Wilson, finally clears him. Now he's right there in the mix as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the urgency picking up on Sartaj because he can see that Celsius logo poking out in his mirror every lap off the corners because Chicano is running almost a similar line as Sartaj off the exit of the corners, and here he comes to the outside, almost had an opportunity to the 49's outside off on the front straightaway. Here he comes through 1 and 2. He's been running this higher line most of the night, has Alonso Chicano. Can he get a run down the back? Good momentum coming.
Going to get to the inside of the 49. Here comes Alonso Chicano now to second, and he'll look to set his sights on race leader Blaze McKinney.
Ooh, that was a good pass on Sartaj, man, but you saw it got a little stepped out there on the exit. Sartaj had a huge run coming, had to push Alonso. No other place really to take it, so he had to push Alonso down the front straightaway a little bit. Sure, that's like the last thing he wanted to do there. Push his competitor away a little bit, but I'm sure he didn't want to mismatch the bumpers there and wreck Alonso into the wall head on. But Alonso's going to take that run. He is building up on that higher lane and contend for this race lead here off turn 4.
And Alonso Chicano has picked up a new best friend. His name is Jonathan Parker, now putting pressure on Sartaj Mann as well as they continue to try to battle for this 3rd position. That's going to allow Chicano to try to run away a little more. And you see Mann kind of hitting that apron right there. I mean, that's going to slow them up a little bit more maybe. And that's exactly what Chicano wants to see in his rearview mirror. He wants to see Mann and Parker battling each other. You know, like it's the last lap, like they're battling for the lead. They're battling for 3rd right now. This is what Chicano needs to see because he needs to make sure that these two are not up there contending with him.
And speaking of that, Alonso last time through 1 and 2 ran a really high lane. He had a huge run coming to the back of the 87, but Blaze took Alonso's line like he just did this time around. And going in 1 and 2 last lap, Alonso, maybe he hit a bump wrong or something because he had a lot of loss of momentum through the center 1 and 2. He had to back up his exit for turn 2, and it allowed Sartaj, man, to close back up that gap. But Alonso's been able to put his head back down, try and get back that 87 as he has another moment there in turn 4. These 3 are all right there on top of each other for the 2nd position, and don't count out Christian Pacheco right there in 5th.
And also don't count out Blaze McKinney. Just because McKinney's out front doesn't mean anything. I mean, you know, McKinney easily could still run away with this. As you see, Mann and Chicano just about maybe touch there. The battle for 2nd, they're acting like it's the battle for the win with 30 laps to go. Going to be 29 this time by. It's Chicano, Mann, and Parker. Throw them under the blanket. The 3 most dominant cars of the night. They are battling hard for 2nd, and Blaze McKinney is looking to pull away.
Yeah, McKinney is not loving seeing the three most dominant cars of the night in his mirror, but he's loving seeing them race this hard for the second position. He's able to pull away just a little bit here, and if they continue, like you mentioned, they can run into an incident like they almost did last time down the back straightaway. Could end up being a huge night for McKinney if he's able to do so, but that battle for second so heated up right now. Parker on the inside of Chicano might take that third spot away through 3 and 4 here.
So as this battle continues on, it looks like there was just an announcement. Noah Mayuri is stepping down as a CEO, an admin, and a driver, effective immediately. Massive news, I guess, is the least you can say in a situation like that. For essentially one of the, historically, one of the biggest names, in the field. I mean, two-time champion, Noah Mayuri. He's been the, the admin, one of the admins, the CEO, pretty much this place for a while now, and driving in it too. But now just stepping away after tonight, just almost shocking.
Yeah, it is pretty shocking, Dawson. Has unfortunately not been the best successfully for Noah on track the last couple months, and it's very unfortunate to read this and hear this. Very surprising, like you hinted at, and it is. Uh, yeah, I'm at a loss of words hearing it.
So looking to see, just to see what we're looking at right now for our drivers, of course. Race leader Blaze McKinney. This is his second career start. He made his first start at Daytona. Started that race in third. He brought it home 13th. I'm looking to see, actually, that looks like that was an exhibition race, however. As a matter of fact, it was. I believe that was the duel. That was duel 1. He was in that race. But I did not see him anywhere in the iRacing F1 250. So it doesn't look like he's really ran many races, He attempted to start Talladega last season, disconnected, did not race. So this technically, I guess you could say, is truly his first start in the Slide Jawb Racing League. Sartaj Mann, of course, made his debut at the start of this season. Won the iRacing F1 250. So he's definitely, putting the pressure on that he is going to be a driver to be, a force to be reckoned with this season. As you see there, though, Sartaj Mann's going to pull down pit road, as is Alonso Chicano. He is not going to be one to be outdone by the 49, and you see he backs it down hard to see if he can make it. This is going to be the final stop of the night.
Yeah, that was a super aggressive pit entry from Alonso Chicano. He probably saw Sartaj Mann beat him on that first pit stop of the night. Probably been brewing on that ever since then for the 25, and he trying to redeem himself right there. Couldn't quite beat Sartaj into the pits. He had such a big gap, but he did close it up just a little bit. Hopefully, he didn't get a speeding violation there, like we've seen quite a few drivers get tonight.
So as we continue on here, we're just kind of watching everything here to see what's going on. It looks like Chicano and Chicano and Mann are away. It looks like Mann was able to get out in front of Alonso, so he is holding on to that position over Alonso. More drivers coming down pit road to take their final stop of the night as we approach 20 laps to go this next time by. So it's looking like some of these drivers are going to go for the pit stop, and some of these guys are going to stretch it if they can.
We saw all kinds of different strategies last week play out at Chicagoland. Definitely played out with the timing of the cautions. Definitely, once again, is affecting the race tonight. We've covered it all night. All these guys topping off on the caution laps. trying to extend their fuel window as much as possible. Some guys coming in and electing to take tires when others don't. It's been a race of a strategy really all night, Dawson. We've seen it go back and forth all night. We're going to see Blaze McKinney come in for his pit stop right here. Last time for him tonight.
Indeed, it is. Final stop for that number 87. Now, something I want to do, I want to see if I can look back and see something here. We're going to go back a little bit longer here, really quickly. We're shooting way back in this race, maybe a little too far back. I'm wanting to see what happened with this 8 car. At any point throughout this race, I'm looking to see if there was anything big that happened. I don't quite see anything yet. Just trying to figure out what happened with Noah Mary in this race. But so far, nothing. So that's just how it's going to be, it looks like. But with that, we're going to continue on here, though. Jonathan Parker is your race leader. As this goes, he has 29 laps since his last pit. Derek Paulson, 30 laps since his last pit. So we'll see how things shake out for these drivers that are going to elect to try to stay out. And see what happens. But you see there's Sartaj Man in the background. He has currently scored 9th, a lap down. And it looks like Parker might be slowing to come to pit road. Maybe not.
This is the time of the race Sartaj has to have his head down and just focus on qualifying laps, not focus on that 48 out in front of him. They're on different strategies, of course, at the time being. You have to be faster than that 48, but you're going to run faster on the fresh tires. You just have to run the most optimal lap times as possible, and it's going to be difficult running in different traffic here as 48 runs that lower line here. Let's see if he comes down for a pit stop this time, flames out the exhaust. Indeed, he is downshifting onto the pit entry here. He's going to give up the lead here to Paulson.
So Derek Paulson, your defending race winner, now your race leader. 32 laps since he last came out pit road with 15 laps to go. That puts him at about 47 laps. We saw drivers get towards that 42, 43 before they came down pit road. That was under a fully green condition. So what I'm wondering is Paulson going to have enough to make it here, or is he going to have to make a stop?
If anyone's going to try and stretch it, I would not put it past Derek Paulson. He has definitely been on alternate strategy all night tonight. Not when every opportunity has presented itself, he's come down pit road, but almost every other opportunity. And you mentioned, I believe he was one of those guys who did stretch it way late in the fuel one early on in this race, and he's done a phenomenal job so far to keep himself in position. He's had a quiet night. He's been involved in almost quite a few incidents, but he's stayed up there. And one thing I've noticed watching that 6 at the end of the straightaways, coming down the back, a lot of exhaust coming out of the pipes. Not a lot of other drivers doing that. Maybe he's backing up his corner entries a little bit, Dawson, more than others.
Yeah, you mentioned a quiet night. I wouldn't call it quiet getting spun by your teammate. But he has been able. You can hear it. It's like he's just coasting it. But you can see right there on the side, the pit stops. If anybody's got a really good shot of stretching it, I think it's going to be that 53 Mark Frimpong. He's got 3 laps since his last stop compared to the rest of the field. So he might have a good shot at it, but you can just kind of hear how little on throttle time he's got. You know, he's not on throttle a bunch. He's lifting off early. And just kind of coasting it. He's kind of being easy with it. So I think Derek Paulson is definitely going to try to stretch it here with 12 laps to go. He's just going to have to coast around a couple more laps and see if he can make it. Oh, I'm in the wall! Jonathan Parker! Huge hit into the wall by the 48 of Jonathan Parker. No caution, obviously, but huge hit for that number 48 machine.
Yeah, he wheeled that wall, and he's going to slow it down here, I believe, and come in for repairs. He was trying to pass 2 other cars just ahead of him. I believe one of them might have been Jared Wilson. No, actually, it's Jackson Glenn Austin, I believe.
Jackson Glenn Austin, second place, Dalton Kilroe. Oh, yeah, he just got it to the 41 too fast, faster than he thought he would, and just ended up hitting him, putting himself in the wall. Just not a good spot to catch that 41 when he caught him. But there you see, there's Frimpong currently scored in the 4th position. 5th place, Brian Dees, of course, on this same strategy. As of right now, Sartaj Man is 21 seconds back. He is running a second faster every lap, so it's not enough to fully catch. But if these guys start running out of fuel, Sartaj Man and Blaze McKinney are the battle for the lead. If these guys are not able to stretch it, and it's a second gap between McKinney and Man. Pacheco has currently scored what would be 8th. Right now, what would be 3rd. There's a slow car on the apron down there in the background. Trying to see who that is. Is that Kilroe that's slow? Maybe not. There's definitely. It looks like he is very much riding that flat of the track to make sure he gets as much fuel into it as he can get. But with 9 laps to go, it's gonna be close.
And right there, we see it's 28 at Jackson Glen Austin, and right there, tail of the shot is 41 at Dalton Kilroe. That's how fast these guys on the pressure tires are going. That's what the gap Jonathan Parker would have gotten in 2 or 3 laps if he hadn't gotten in the wall, hadn't gotten in the back of Dalton Kilroe, and his race has just gone up in the wall because of that. Phenomenal job for that 48 all night, and just one mistake. In-lap traffic pretty much on the different strategies. That's the most riskiest part on these strategy races is just the different speeds everyone's got. Huge closing rates when you're on different tires.
Bad news for these two here. Dalton Kilroe and Brian Dees are on pit road. Looks like they didn't have enough. Derek Paulson now pulling to pit road as well. That's going to hand the race lead over to Justin Johnson unless he parks it as well, in which he will. So now we go back to Mark Frimpong.
You mentioned he has the least fuel out of all those guys, out of everyone trying to stretch it. The only thing is he doesn't have that much of a buffer to play with. He's only got less than about 8 seconds to Sartaj Man, who's on full speed right now. He's going all out right now, while Frimpong is going to have to save a little.
There's Kilroe pulling off of pit road. Of course, just a splash of fuel. Or no, not a little more than a splash of fuel to try to make it out in front of the leader. So he'll do that. He will stay on the lead lap at least. So if something does happen here before we get the white flag, there is a shot for Kilroe at least to make it back up. Derek Paulson, Justin Johnson, slow stops. Or quick stops, I should say. They actually had very quick stops to get enough fuel in to make sure they make it to the end. Oh, and I just see now, look at this. Battle for second. Blaze McKinney to the inside of Sartaj's Man. Runs him up the racetrack. Blaze McKinney's going to go to second. And so as it stands right now, Blaze McKinney's in position to take control of this race. If the 53 can't make it, it looks like he's on the apron. And the caution's going to fly. It's Justin Johnson on the front straightaway.
Wow, so much just happened right there. Justin Johnson, I believe he just came down pit road a moment ago, Dawson. This is going to change everything. Frimpong is definitely going to be in a huge fuel save mode if he's going to even think about going to overtime. But that was a huge move by Blaze McKinney. He had to do something there if he wanted to drive away from Sartaj Man. If that was indeed for the race win, got right into him to knock him out of the way. And when we look at this JCTV replay, what happened to Justin Johnson? Contact with Paulson, and almost a couple of drivers there down the front stretch.
Hey, he was trying to battle Derek Paulson for position. That would have been for the 13th position, actually. As we're going to see the onboard. This is coming off of pit road, by the way. These two were coming off of pit road at this time. And they were side by side battling. There you see Paulson's nose sticks in right there. Then right here, contact again, and then it was just too much. And around he went. So Sartaj Man is going to assume the race lead because Blaze McKinney comes down pit road. Looks like the top 6 elect to stay out here, making it the top 7. Dalton Kilroe staying out, so everybody from 8th on back electing to come down pit road.
Mark Frimpong pitting makes sense to me, but Blaze McKinney is a surprise considering what he just did to get around Sartaj for P2 at the time. Maybe the race lead, maybe the race win. Going into overtime, though, now maybe he can slice up through the field on some fresh tires yet again.
You say that, but something I'm seeing from that 49, he's hitting the apron and just riding the apron under this caution. At least he did in 1 and 2. I don't know if he does this in 3 and 4. We'll have to look and see. But he rode the apron in 1 and 2. I doubt he's running. I doubt he didn't pack enough fuel, and he took a full 14-second stop. That's usually an indication that you took tires as well. So I would assume that 49 took, full fuel, as much fuel as you can take. But if he didn't, and he only took enough to make it to the end of the race, I mean, this could be a case of he's just concerned he doesn't have enough to make it to the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Sartaj did not take a full fuel load there. Run a little bit fast. I'm not quite sure what the huge difference would be. Running on a lesser fuel tank, obviously you go a little bit faster, less fuel, less weight in the back of the car. But it's just, yeah, huge risk here, not packing enough fuel in for overtime if that's what he is worried about.
And so just, I'm gonna make that comment that I think everybody is a cliche comment to make here. Obviously, we're in Vegas, and these drivers are rolling the dice, and they're gonna see where they land. They're hoping to hit that 777. They're hoping to lay that hand down and it be a straight flush. But that's to be determined. We still have to see. Sartaj Man right now is in position to take this win, but look who's starting behind him. At 25 of Alonso Chicano, still up there, ready to go. And you see there, Man is back on the apron. I don't think fuel is a concern for the 49. But if for some reason it is, you got to wonder. But right now, your top 5, as it stands right now, it's Sartaj Man, Christian Pacheco, Alonso Chicano, Jared Wilson, Jackson Glenn Austin is your top 5. Dalton Kilroe is 6th. Then, of course, everybody that came down pit road that last time by, Mark Frimpong came off first, then Blaze McKinney, Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Michael Kruger is scored 10th. Jason Powell is 11th, Blaine Sparling 12th. Then you got Jason Powell, after Blaine Sparling, it's going to be Doug Denise, Derek Paulson, Caden Atkins, Michael Thorpe Jr., Glenn Bundren Jr., Brian Dees, and then Justin Johnson getting the lucky wave around there, and Jonathan Parker, who scored in 20th. That is the field that is on the lead lap. This is a green-white checkered, an official green-white checkered this time, as we are on lap 132 at this lap right now. So we will have overtime here in Vegas.
Well, it's been some exciting race so far. I didn't think we were going to go into a green-white checker. It definitely was a thrilling race up to this point. I'm excited to see what's going to happen here. We've had thrilling restarts all night, and I don't think we were going to see anything different here in overtime.
We'll have to see. Noah Mary completely gone from the server, too. So that is... There will be a lot to look into tonight here at the conclusion of this race. Things have gotten intense in Vegas, but it's not even done yet. Overtime here for the SMB Marketing 200. Green flag is back out. We're back underway here. And see, Man gets a good jump. Chicano wasn't able to get there with them. And they're 3 wide in the background here. Dalton Kilroe's up top.
There was contact going to turn 1 way back, but Pacheco did not get the best of starts. He slid into 3rd behind Chicano, and they were dicing 3-4 wide on the back straightaway.
Sartaj Man looking to run away with it. Alonso Chicano looking to hunt back down for that race lead as they come through 3 and 4. It looks like they're going to get to the white flag somehow, maybe. Moreno in the wall going to keep it straight. White flag is out. One more lap for Sartaj Man. Chicano's going to do everything he can. Mark Frimpong's right there. Frimpong gets in the back of Chicano. Chicano's up the track. Chicano in the wall. And look at Dalton Kilroe with a huge run. They're wrecking in the background. Chicano around. Michael Kruger around. Look at Dalton Kilroe. Run to the inside. And Sartaj Man through 3 and 4 for the final time. Unbelievable. Dalton Kilroe with the last second pass. He's going to win at Vegas.
Kilroe was committed to the top on the last 2 laps, and he just ducked to the inside on Sartaj on the last corner. Wow, what a pass, what a win. That's unbelievable stuff right there for that 41 car.
Dalton Kilroe, your defending series champion, puts his name in the winner's column for the first time in Season 10 in style. As he rolls a perfect 12, he will go to victory lane here at Las Vegas. What a pass for the win that was. Where did he even come from?
Man, Dawson, I was watching him since the drop of the green flag. He was one of the first guys to tuck out of line, to go all the way to the top. In turn one, actually even before turn one, he ducked out of line in the trioval and just did a phenomenal job, blowing through everyone, especially when there was that huge checkup in turn one by Alonso Chicano with his contact from Mark Frimpong. That really stacked up the field and allowed that 41 to get up to second, but that run on Sartaj came out of nowhere, I thought. Impressive move there down the back straightaway.
We're going to take it back with the JCTV replay to see just how he was able to make that work. That was just incredible. We're going to take it back all the way to this restart. And we're just going to follow along with Dalton Kilroe on his path to this win. You see, he's on the outside, and he got doored by Jared Wilson. I thought right here when him and Wilson had contact that was the end of it. You know, that they weren't going to recover. You see Mark Frimpong moves down. Jackson Glenn Austin right there. Blaze McKinney gets to the inside of Kilroe. But Kilroe rocking the top here in 3 and 4. And he was able to make it stick right there. He's on the outside of a 3-wide situation. And this was coming to the white. And you see right here, Frimpong gets into the back of Chicano, gets him loose. That opened the door for Kilroe, just barely missing and clearing for that second position. And they stack up behind. Kruger and Chicano hit. Jackson Glenn Austin a part of it as well. But then right here, hooks the bottom through 3 and 4, wrapping that white line, gets by man, and is able to clear for the race win. A phenomenal job by Dalton Kilroe to get the victory as he takes a Polish victory lap here. Man, oh man, what a finish that was. Defending series champion. And he backs up that championship season with his first win here tonight. An impressive victory for Dalton Kilroe. We'll head down to our third place finisher if they are available. I do not see them, however. So we'll see if we can get a hold of them. And there we go. With our third place finisher here, Blaze McKinney. Blaze, first off, you really were setting up late there to have a chance at it. With that 6 laps to go, you made the move on Sartaj Man to get by him, but then that caution came out. What did you think more that you would have needed to get there to victory lane?
I just needed that caution not to come out. I would have had in the bag if we didn't have that caution there. It just kind of screwed us, and it was kind of like a 50-50 pit or you don't pit. And I decided to pit because I thought we'd have enough time and not enough. Like there was a good amount of cars in front of me where I probably could have got past them with the fresh tires, and it just didn't work out for me. I needed like one more lap on that restart, and I might have just needed to navigate a little bit better with all them slower cars in front of me. Just the blocks and stuff in the lane just didn't go my way on that last restart. Just couldn't get to it, but it is what it is. Basically, I just needed that caution not to come out. If I didn't have that caution, we would have won that, but it is what it is. Can't really change it now, but kind of sucks.
Yeah, even with that caution coming out, the decision to pit still played in your favor. Looking at the guys that stayed out, not many of them were able to stay up in that top 5, but you were able to make moves from 9th to up to 3rd. So, I mean, in the end, it did work out for you. Those last 2 laps, what were they like from the driver's seat?
They were pretty crazy. They were pretty frustrating too, just because I was trying to get through some lanes with the faster tires, and I was just pretty much having to sit there and just sit behind him because there was no lanes to go through, and Dalton just got the outside there, and he drove right around everybody, but I was stuck there in the middle, and took me like almost a full 2 laps just to get past everybody. But I mean, it was fun. Really, it was really intense, but just wish it went our way. But it was definitely fun for sure. Whole race was.
Well, you find yourself on the podium still. Anybody want to shout out sponsors, teammates? What got that 87 car up to third place?
Yeah, I think Glenn Bundren, my teammate, 219 Racing. Appreciate bunch of lawn care, Crystal Designs, HendrickCars.com, and you guys for putting on the broadcast for us, and everybody that runs the league as well.
Well, alrighty, that is Blaze McKinney, your third place finisher here tonight. Congrats, Blaze.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And Adam, I believe you've caught up with our second place finisher, Sartaj Matt.
Yeah, so Taj, you got a copy?
I got a copy.
Well, pretty disappointing finish, I must imagine. So close there at the end. First off, what was that caution? What going through your mind when that caution flew with just a handful of laps to go?
I mean, I knew I had no tire sets left, so I was like, I mean, honestly, I was really angry because every single pit cycle I feel like during the season has ended in a yellow. I don't know what's up with that, why it happens. I don't know why, and I feel like I'm always on the back end of that. It happened last week, happened at Daytona, but yeah, I mean, I was honestly angry if I'm being honest with you. I wasn't happy when the yellow came out.
Well, on the last green white checker there, you were able to get a good restart, but what more did you need to beat Dalton and get another victory here tonight? Close finish, like I mentioned, and it was a very dominant performance by yourself tonight, along with a couple other drivers.
So, on the final corner, I picked the high line because I don't think there was much I could have done there, because I think if I picked the bottom, he would have just rolled by me on the top. If I picked the top, he obviously rolled by me on the bottom. I don't know what else I could have done there, honestly. Just new tires to those old tires.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Bristol is next Tuesday. What do you have to look forward to that, if you are at all? Would you have to expect a completely different track tonight from tonight?
If I'm being honest, I am not looking forward to Bristol. Yeah, I don't know if there's much explanation I need to give for Bristol, but it's gonna be mayhem. I already know it, so I'm not really looking forward to it, but we'll be there. We'll see how we can compete.
Yeah, absolutely understood. Who do you have to shout out after a second place finish here tonight?
Just a typical, PPM. The people I was working with, Mark and Zach, obviously ended up wrecking, but yeah, that's it really.
All right, well, congrats again on the run. Sorry it didn't end up better for yourself. Good luck next week, Sautaj.
Thank you.
So before we get to our race winner, I want to quickly go back and see if we can't find our JCTV replay here what exactly happened with the 41 of Dalton Kilroe, because right now there's a conversation that it's possible he jumped the restart. So we're going to look at that really quick and see with you all here if that is what happened. At least I believe is what they're talking about. There's currently discussions ongoing with it right now. As you see right here, they enter the restart zone. I'm wondering if they're looking at it because of that move to the outside lane, not holding his lane. So that's the possibility. We'll get a look one more time for you on that move. There's the leader going. Man launches, but right here, Kilroe jumps to that outside of the 83. Doesn't pass anybody, but he does jump to the outside. So we're just looking to see really quick, because they are definitely discussing it right now. The admins are on that move. So that's currently what's ongoing here. So looking back at the rule book, there shouldn't be a position loss penalty for anything.
I believe the rule they are looking at is him changing lanes.
Yeah, that's what I think it is, but at the same time, I don't believe that's what they're fully looking at as well. So double checking just to see, 'cause it looks like they're saying they're not looking at the lane change. So then I'm not sure what they would be looking at. Unless that is the lane change. The thing is, this will not affect positioning more so. It will just affect the points. So we'll have to double check and see. But right now, as it stands, it looks like it's going to still be a win for Dalton Kilroe. So we are going to yank him down here. And let's get a word in with our race winner. Hey, Dalton Kilroe, this is the boys who've been in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, obviously, looking at it, you said you might have biffed the restart, but at the most, it's going to be a points penalty. You still walk away with the win. What? Just, I don't even know words to put together here to describe that amazing move that you were able to pull off there on that last lap. What was going through your mind there on that overtime restart?
Well, I knew when that caution came out after that cycle, the green flag pit stop cycle came through. I only had like a lap on my tires, and I knew the guys up in front of me had like 20 laps on their tires, and I knew everybody behind me would have completely fresh rubber. So I knew I was kind of in a do or die situation, restarting on the outside. I knew I needed to get up there and just kind of lay the pedal to the metal and just hope it sticks. And was lucky enough to stay on the high side and get the other guys on the fresh tires pinned behind some of the slower traffic and just get there at the end.
Yeah,
It was tough.
Yeah, yeah, and you were able to hook it to the bottom there at the end. You know, looking back, obviously the defending series champion. This is your first win of the season in race 3, but passing Sartaj Man, who was so dominant tonight and was dominant also last week at Chicagoland. Do you think maybe this is going to be the battle for the championship to defend your title is going to be with that 49 car?
Well, he's definitely going to be up there in the competition. Not trying to say he's bad or anything. He's not. He's pretty damn good. But I feel like it's not just going to be between him and I feel like there's quite a few guys that can be fighting for this championship. I'd like it to be just me and one other driver going kind of back and forth, but we'll have to see how the season progresses. I could have had a better finish last week. I could have avoided an incident at Daytona and been a little higher in the points too. So, it all depends how things go and how the season runs. But looking good so far.
Yeah, indeed, able to score, a win here at Vegas. You were able to make that last lap move work, but finishing P1. Anybody with shout out sponsors, teammates? What got that 41 machine in victory lane tonight?
Well, obviously Michael Falk with MF Racing Designs on Facebook made the awesome Patriot car for me tonight, and clearly it had some speed, so that was fun. Everybody else at MFRD for being there tonight. We had a couple guys with some bad luck on the squad, but I'm glad I was able to carry the banner for us. Gotta thank Daddy-O's Barbershop, you guys doing the broadcast for us, Red Sim Designs, everybody on YouTube for coming out and watching, and everybody at Slide Jawb for making the league what it is.
Well, alrighty, that is a Dalton Kilroe, defending series champion and now race winner here in season 10. Congrats, Dalton.
Thank you.
And with that, we're going to get him back up with his teammates there. There we go. Adam, it was eventful, I think, to say the least, for that race tonight. It was definitely a crazy race night here for the MF Racing Designs Slide Jawb Racing League.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to be memorable for quite a few different reasons, I believe, Dawson. Unfortunately, we had quite a few incidents to get to where we got, but up front. It was a thrilling race all night long. It was a great battle between 4 or 5 drivers we saw contending for that win, and Dalton Kilroe being able to score that victory, the reigning series champion, to back up a win here in Las Vegas and do it in overtime, thrilling style on last lap pass. That was pretty much essential green white checker racing there, and it was thrilling all the way to the last lap, of course, all the way to the checker.
Yep, and with that win, I believe that puts Dalton Kilroe at 5 career wins, if not maybe 4, because I believe one of those wins that shows up, yeah, that win was the All-Star win. So it should be 5 official career wins for Dalton Kilroe coming here tonight at Las Vegas. Of course, winning Chicagoland to close out the season in the championship. You won Michigan last season, Pocono, and then, of course, the season opener, the Clash at Martinsville. So actually, in total, 4 official wins that are points-paying races. This is his 4th win on his career, 6th win overall in the Slide Jawb Racing League for non-points penalties and points penalties and points paying. Non-points paying and points paying. I've got my words mixed up. There's a lot going on. So, anyways, Adam, we had an eventful night, but we still got 2 more races this week. Obviously, I said it first, you were going to be here. You're not going to be here. You're going to be partying with Archibald and Cam, I believe, in Fontana for Auto Club this weekend.
Yeah, it's really a shame that I'm not going to be able to broadcast the last 2 races for both the DI9 Designs and ARL Series this Friday night at Michigan. That's going to be an exciting show, I think. That's going to be everyone's just racing for the win there. It's going to be pretty exciting. Michigan is going to be flat out, wide open, all kinds of different lanes to work with. And same way at Kansas Saturday night for the In the Pits News Truck Series finale. Pretty much the same thing going on. No one really racing for the title, we don't think. It's going to be racing for money, though. We got Dash for Cash guys going yeah, some $100, I believe, is on the line Saturday night. So that's going to be so much fun to watch. I'm going to be able to, like you mentioned, be able to watch it with Cam and Caldwell. So that's going to be fun. And hopefully we get to see the last California Speedway race this weekend if the weather holds.
Yeah, that we'll have to see. Obviously, you're looking forward to that. And before I let you go, before you sign off for tonight, what are your race picks for Xfinity and Cup? I just want to know what you're thinking.
Man, Xfinity, I'm probably going to go with one of those Cup guys coming down. I like to see 92 team win. I believe it's a 92 go. It's DGM. Lost Chastain behind the wheel. I think he's going to do a great job. And Cup, it's a tough call. I'm just going to go with Kyle Busch. He's going to redeem himself from what happened last Sunday in the Daytona 500.
Alrighty, there are your picks from Adam Kuhn for Fontana, or Auto Club, excuse me, the last race on the big oval configuration. But what about the other 2 races? The NOR, the Dig Designs NOR series, and then the In the Pits News Truck series. Who are your picks to win those 2 races?
AC Wygant has been a threat every time Friday nights. I think he's going to end the season on style the way he's been the last couple weeks. We've seen him. Didn't get the win at Charlotte the other night. I think he's going to back it up with a win at Michigan. I'm not quite sure about Kansas. I think Kansas is going to be all out for those Dash for Cash guys. Might make a statement victory. None of those guys I don't think have a career win. I'm going to go with a long shot. Ethan Moreno. He's fast. We saw him tonight be fast up in the mix when he was on strategy, when he was able to, not when getting the wall, unfortunately, like he did there on the last lap. But he's in contention every week. We've seen him have great runs like he did finishing second at Homestead a couple weeks ago. So I think I'm going to pick him to get his first win.
Alrighty, well, early picks for me for the NOR series. I'll have to look back at the roster, but I think Archibald's looking pretty good to win that race. If not, I'm going to have to go with Cole Snyder. I know from when I've raced and when I've watched, he's been very good, and I think I'd have to, go with him, at least just off of memory. Memory serves me right usually sometimes. I remember Cole Snyder was pretty decent when I last saw, raced, or did anything in the Dig Designs NOR series. Usually that race is too late for Grandpa Dawson. He's got to go to work at 6 in the morning on Saturdays. But I'm still there for the In the Pits News Truck Series, which, of course, my early prediction pick to win that race, I'm going to go with Alonso Chicano. Winner last season at that race. You know, he's shown flashes of speed this season. It's been an off season for him this season, but I think he'll rebound and he'll pick up his second win of the season this weekend at Kansas. But that will do it for us here on the Slide Jawb Racing League, presented by Michael Falk Racing Designs. Michael, we thank you for the sponsorship. We thank you for the paint schemes as always too. Always fun to see those cars on track, and let Mariel keep painting those cars because we gotta get some more cars to focus on throughout the weeks too. You know, shout out to everybody that's been a part of this league and been a part of this racing. This is only race 3 of the season, and of course now we've got 3 different winners. Sartaj Mann with a season opener. Then we had Jonathan Parker in race 2 at Chicago, and now we've got Dalton Kilroe in the victory column. As we get ready for the rest of the racing throughout the week, of course, Slide Jawb, every other league is ending, but Slide Jawb is kicking into high gear. Bristol next week, the last great Coliseum, is where they will do battle. Which gladiator will come out on top next week? We'll have to see when we get there. That'll do it for us here from Las Vegas for the SMB Marketing 200. Congrats again, Dalton Kilroe, winner here at Las Vegas. For Adam Kuhn and Jonathan Canfield, this is Dawson Allen signing off, saying so long, and have a great rest of your night.